everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you guys 3 back to school breakfast ideas, and you don't even have to make these for back to school. You can just make them from whenever. And I have my little puppy here. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's just go ahead and get started. So the first breakfast recipe I'm going to be showing you guys how to make is the strawberry oat bar. So what you're going to need is some oats, some flour, sugar, salt, cornstarch, ground cinnamon, vanilla extract, vegetable or canola oil, eggs, strawberries, and some cold butter. First, you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and then you want to combine 1 1/4 cups of oats, 1 1/2 cups of flour, and then you also want to combine your 3/4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of salt into your blender, food processor, or whatever you have. I actually ended up using my little self-serve smoothie maker instead of the big blender because I had never used this big blender blade thing, so it didn't work for me. As you can see, that's such a fail right there. So I just switched to my little thing that I use all the time. And then I cut 5 tablespoons of cold butter up and cubed it, or you could just make it into chunks. It's just going to get mashed up anyways. So I did that, and make sure your butter is cold because it will melt even when you are cutting it up. So you want it to be as cold as it can be, and then you want to add that to your flour and oat mixture. And I had to do it into 2 separate ones. It was just a whole big mess. So just use your blender. It is so much easier. And then you want to combine in a different bowl 1 egg and 3 tablespoons of vegetable or canola oil. It doesn't matter, whichever one you have around your house. And then you want to whisk that together and add your crumbly flour and oat mixture to that and whisk it up until it's nice and crumbled. You want it to be like a streusel topping, sort of like that, but it's not as sweet. So it's really actually good. I think it is amazing crust. I guess you could call it a crust, I don't know. But then you want to take 3/4 of a cup of that topping and put it into a separate bowl. Then grease your 13 by 9 inch pan and take the crust, and you want to put that in the bottom of your pan and then flatten that all out so it's nice and smooth. Next, what you want to do is slice a lot of strawberries. I think it's a quart. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I used a quart, and then I also used some frozen strawberries because I didn't have enough strawberries, fresh strawberries. So you can use frozen, fresh, you could even use both like I did, but you just want to keep cutting strawberries until you reach 5 cups of sliced strawberries. So I did that, and yeah, I'm just pouring my last cup into my bowl, and then I'm taking all of my 5 cups of sliced strawberries and putting them into a big bowl and adding 6 tablespoons of sugar to that bowl, and I'm as well adding, I think, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch is going into, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with the strawberries and sugar, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of water or lemon juice. I used water because I didn't really want lemon juice in mine. And then you want to mix everything together until all the white cornstarch granules are gone, and it's just like sort of sticky, and it's sort of like they sort of broke down a little bit and they made a juice. And then you want to take all of your strawberries and put them into your pan that the crust, make sure your crust is down. You don't want to not have your crust. And then you want to take that 3/4 cup of your streusel topping that you left out and put that on top. And then if there's any big chunks, you can just take your hands and crumble them up. And then the last step into making this is putting it in the oven and baking it. And I made these the night before, so when I wake up I can just grab them and go out the door. So that is awesome, and they bake for a really long time, so I definitely make them the night before. They bake for around 40 minutes, and then once they are done, you want to take them out, and the fruit should be bubbling, and your topping should be lightly golden brown, and then you're finished with your strawberry oat bars. So for the second breakfast idea, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make delicious blueberry muffins. What you're going to need is some flour. You're going to also need some sugar, salt, baking powder, ground cinnamon, vanilla extract, blueberries, vegetable oil, eggs, and some milk. So first you're going to want to place 3 cups of your flour into a big mixing bowl. And then you're going to want to mix 4 teaspoons of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of salt, as well as 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. So basically all of your dry ingredients except your sugar are going to go into this bowl. And if you guys want to know the amounts, like if I'm saying it way too fast, I will leave them in the description box, so just go check that out if you're making these recipes. And then you just want to stir those until it's nicely combined, and then set that aside. And then in another bowl you're going to combine 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, half a cup of canola oil or vegetable oil. I'm using vegetable oil, it doesn't really matter. And you're also going to want to crack 2 eggs and whisk it up and mix it together. Oh, and you're going to also want to add your vanilla extract, and you're adding 1 teaspoon of that. And then I'm adding my eggs. So it doesn't really matter what order, just make sure it's all in there. And then I'm whisking it up. Whisking is my favorite thing when I cook. I don't know why I like whisking. And then I'm adding almost half, a little bit more than half of my dry mixture to my wet mixture. And then I'm taking my wooden spoon and sort of folding / stirring, and then it got really thick, so I used my whisk. And don't over mix this because you don't want your muffins to be tough. And then I took a tablespoon of flour and coated 1.5 cups of blueberries. I use frozen and fresh, so you can use whatever you like. So I just coated those, and then I put them in the batter. And the reason I coated them in flour is so that they don't all sink to the bottom of the muffins when they bake. They will be distributed throughout the entire batter. And this is a really thick batter, so you're going to work your muscles doing this. And then you don't have to do this, but I added a tablespoon of chia seeds to give it some protein. They'll fill you up more. And then what I did is I greased my muffin tins. You can add paper liners if you want. I just find greasing it is a little bit easier because you can just grab them and you don't have to worry about throwing the paper out somewhere. And then I filled all of my muffin cups up with an ice cream scoop because they're equal and so much easier that way. And they make around 12 to 15 depending on how big they are. And then you want to preheat your oven to 25 degrees and then bake for 5 minutes, and then put the temperature back down to 375 and bake for 25 minutes until they're nice golden brown and they're nice and puffed up. And they're so good. The blueberries will be like sort of exploded. And I just wanted to cut one open so that you guys can see that the flour helps the blueberries distribute so they didn't all sink to the bottom. And then you're done with your blueberry muffins, and these are so good. Blueberry muffins are like my favorite. So the next breakfast I'm going to be showing you guys how to make is an omelet. This isn't like a recipe or anything like that because they are so easy to make, and you can make them however you want for however many people you want. So I'm just using 3 eggs for me and my sister, and I actually end up putting in another one. So I put in a little bit of milk, some salt, and some pepper depending on how much you like each of those. And whatever I have in my fridge, I normally use peppers, but I didn't have any today, so I just used broccoli. And then I also cut up some onions, and I really like that. And my sister, she likes hers just plain. And what you want to do is just make a thin coat around the entire pan and let that cook. And then I also made an English muffin for her because she likes hers with bread all the time. And then once it's like sort of done, you want to flip it over and then fold it over. Once it's completely done, pop your English muffins out, and then you can put a little bit of butter on them, and then that omelet is done. It is so easy to make, and this is if you have a little bit more time in the morning to make your breakfast. And then for mine, I like to add my broccoli and onions, and then I added an extra egg, and then I made my omelet. And also I love to add cheese. Just I sprinkle it in when it's wet, and then when it's done I sprinkle it on top so that it melts. And it's a fail trying to get an omelet out of a pan, you know, failing on everything. But then I just eat my omelet, and I love omelets. They're so nutritional and healthy, and I just love omelets. Sit. 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 Sit if you get a treat. Sit. Okay, don't sit. Come here. Stop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Okay, bye. I I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. I would love you a lot. Even though I already love you a lot, I would love you even more. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. And leave comments on any requests you have. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. You're still here. I thought you were leaving. What are you doing? Sit. Whoa.